Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So in today's video, I'm going to go over the deck list that I used to make absolutely nothing at Dallas Regionals. Didn't do very well, ran into some really hard matchups. Deck wasn't optimized the way it should have been. Teched for aggro, shouldn't have teched for aggro. There's some other things I shouldn't have done. As far as this deck is concerned, ran into a man playing almost the exact same cards I was playing, and he had about the same luck I had. So overall, I think it was just a bad deck choice, but let's get right into it. So we start off with 2 Reshizard. We played this as a, of course, that's our main attacker right there. This is the deck we're going around. Reshizard. Start off with 2 Reshizard. By now, you guys know what that does. 4 energies, you're hitting 230 damage. 3 energies, or 6 energies with the GX attack, you're hitting 300. Knocking out pretty much everything in the game. A little bit of draw support here. We have 2 Dedenne GX. Man, I am not liking these new sleeves as far as the glare goes. 2 Dedenne GX for that day change, allowing you to draw 6 new cards while discarding your hand. If I can quit from stumbling. We have 1 Mega Lopunny and Jigglypuff GX, Tag Team GX. This card right here won me some games and it lost me some games. Usually the ones that lost me was because I wasn't paying attention well enough. The weakness is fighting, and if you're going up against a meta where it's all dark and you're trying to, there's people out there trying to counter the meta, this card is pretty hard to be against. But yeah, Mega Lopunny Jigglypuff does a lot of damage, 3 colorless energy, 60 damage plus 60 more for each GX and EX on the field, so that card does a lot of damage early game or late game. We had one line of Eevee and Flareon GX. This card right here is the one I would take out. It's a good card on its own. There were some people there playing Baby Blacephalon and Flareon GX as a deck. They did decently well, but I would take it out. I teched it in for aggro because I figured I'd at least see 1, and we didn't see any at all. Next up, we have 1 Volcanion EX. I would consider bumping this up to 2. Being able to steam up for that 30 extra damage is amazing at pretty much all times. 1 Tapu Lele for that Wonder Tag. Being able to search out anything like a Welder, Kiawe, or Sycamore whenever you need it is amazing. 1 Sudowoodo, I would say this is probably the MVP of the deck, even though it never attacked. With that Roadblock ability, you are able to shut your opponent. Let's see if I can get it to focus here. With that Roadblock ability, you're able to shut your opponent down to 4 Pokemon on their bench, which means if you're going up against Turbo Dark or something like that likes to have a big bench fighting Zoroark, then you're able to shut them down and basically limit their damage output, or get their energies clumped up so you can knock them out later. I would also consider dropping the Victini Prism Star. While this card did come in handy a few times, most of the time it was just easy for them to gust around and avoid taking that 1 prize when they can take 2 or 3. That is it for the Pokemon line. Next up, we have the supporter line. We're playing 3 Professor Sycamore. This card right here is still a broken card, and in Standard, now that it's coming back as Professor's Research, I believe, it is going to be seeing a whole lot of play. Of course, I can't play my full arts, but hey, I have them. Maybe I'll stick them in some hard cases somewhere. Next, we have 3 Welder, also a very good card in this deck, but honestly not as good as I expected it to be. While attaching 2 Fire Energies is great, most of the time you want to go for that turn 1 Kiawe, which we are playing. And so this is better for later turns, but honestly, I should have played some Blacksmith. Blacksmith would have made this deck a lot better, being able to let me set up later in the turns. Played 2 Guzma. Now, retrospect, I would have played one of these and subbed in the other Guzma as a great catcher. I would also probably have dropped the Flareon and the Eevee for a couple great catchers as well. Great catcher plus Welder is a broken combo, and I didn't play it, and it literally lost me some games. There was so many times where I needed to Welder and Guzma at the same time, or Lysander as it were with Great Catcher, and I could have done it, but not playing Guzma. Not with only playing Guzma. With Great Catcher, I would have won several of those games. Next up, we have 1 Kiawe. I would recommend bumping this up to 2. Although I only saw it prized 1 game. That 1 game was pretty devastating. Being able to pop this off turn 1 and be able to hit a lot of energies on your field is great. I would also consider dropping the Victini Prism Star for a Turtonator GX. Its GX attack, being able to attach 5 Fire Energy from your discard to your Pokemon any way you like for 1 energy, is just absolutely amazing. I thought it would be too squishy. I thought You know, people just knock it out way too fast. But the meta was not as tag team heavy as I thought it would be, and so it really wasn't that big of a deal. And I was able to play things like Tapu Lele, Volcanion, and Dedenes, and they wouldn't target them if they didn't have to. So, in retrospect, I would trade out the Victini Prism Star for a Turtonator, and that way I have that mid-game GX attack to be able to put me a lot of damage back on the field. Next up is the items, and we, of course, play 4 Ultra Ball. Super happy to be able to play this again. Discard 2, search your deck for anything in the deck. Any card in the deck, I should say. We play 3 Versus Seeker. Honestly, I'm not a big fan of Versus Seeker. It's good, don't get me wrong, but I enjoy playing the heavier supporter line so that you're for sure seeing everything you need earlier in the game. I play 3 Max Elixirs. Last year I said I would definitely be playing 4 this year. I didn't. I played 3 because I ran out of space. This is something else I would add if I could drop the Flareon, go back and drop the Flareon and the Eevee. Played 3 Nest Ball, a little bit of consistency here, getting out those basics, which in retrospect maybe wasn't the best thing. Maybe I should have played Cherish Ball, but this allows me to get my Victini Prism Star out, my Sudowoodo out, my Volcanion EX out, you know, stuff like that. So maybe drop 1 Nest Ball. Come on, focus. There we go. Drop 1 Nest Ball for a Cherish Ball, something like that. Next up, we have 4 Trainer's Mail. This card is absolutely amazing, allowing you to look at the top 4 cards of your deck and put a trainer card into your hand, except for Trainer's Mail. 2 Fighting Fury Belt. Let me get onto the tool cards here. 2 Fighting Fury Belt. More than once this came in handy for the 10 damage and for the 40 HP. It puts your Reshizards up to 310 HP, and that is very hard for people to hit, especially if they're playing Fighting Zoroark or something like that. 1 Floatstone for that free retreat. 1 Rescue Stretcher. Honestly, I could think about dropping this as well. Every time I had it in hand, I had to discard it with Ultra Ball or Dedenne, and every time I had it in hand, I didn't have to discard it. I didn't have anything in my discard that I wanted to put into my deck. 1 Choice Band, also an MVP, able to get that 30 extra damage. Should have played more of these, maybe drop the Rescue Stretcher for a Choice Band. 1 Computer Search. When you see it, and it's amazing, and you can do all kinds of things with it. Always have one of those. 1 Fill Blower. This is also an amazing card, getting rid of their stadiums, their Skyfields usually, allowing you to take out, or their Choice Scarves, allowing you to take out their Pokemon or just wipe their energy off the field. Now for the stadium cards, I have 1 Heat Factory Prism Star. This was more or less a good card, I guess. When I had it, it was alright, but it wasn't just, I didn't just use it a ton, it wasn't the greatest. But discard 1 card, draw 3. Now this card was very MPV. I would possibly drop the Heat Factory for 2 of these. Discard a card and search your deck for 2 Fire Energies. So maybe another Giant Hearth. And then this card right here literally just won me games. Power Plant, so I would drop the Heat Factory for another one of these. This also hurts me because it shuts off my Dedenne, Tapu Lele, Volcanion, but against Turbo Dark, it just shut them down and they were not able to win the game. Between this and Sudowoodo, they just couldn't get around that. And that is it for the line, and we are playing 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14 Fire Energies. So hey guys, this is the deck. I would recommend a lot of changes. The Flareon, taking those out. The Victini, taking it out. Adding a Guzma, adding Great Catchers, possibly adding more Power Plants. But other than that, I'm pretty happy with the deck. I'm of course, disappointed in the way I did at the Regionals, but it's whatever. It's the way it is. Next year, I'll get them next year. But anyway, guys, thanks for watching the video. Please like, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff, and let me know what you think, and we'll see you next time.